Hello, hello, this is Angela with Dogwood Paper Arts, and as promised, I'm here to do a tool cleaning. Now, I actually did this several days ago, but the video was too long, and I just thought, what I need to do is just give you an overview of what I do. You don't need to see me clean it all, but I can give you some good tips that help me quite a bit. And I can tell you some things about mats and stuff. So let me start with these crazy tips that we so love and so hate. The way I clean mine, this one is dirty right now. I'm not going to change it because it's still working. But I am going to show you this one that is not all the way clean yet, but I clean these with my awl, and I clean them with this a fingernail brush. I just stick the bristles down in there and really go at it with them. And I also use like a sharp needle to get way down in there and get the glue out, because what happens is it dries to the side of this metal and it's hard to get out. So one of the tips I have for doing these cute little tips is Dawn dishwashing liquid. This one stays in my bathroom where I clean my tools and stuff, but all I do is put a little drip drop in there if I can, and let it just sit for a little while. You can see it's not coming out yet because it's still plugged, but there is some, so it's not too plugged. Then I take this and I throw it in some hot water that has some more Dawn in it. Just mix it up good and I let it sit. Sometimes I let them sit for days, and sometimes I just let them sit for a few hours. Then they're much easier to take this brush to and get them all cleaned out. Another thing that really helps with these tips is pipe cleaners. And I don't know if it makes a difference, but the gun cleaning pipe cleaners, they're a little different, I think. They work super great. So just a tip on that. And then after I'm done cleaning, then my next, after I'm done cleaning the tips, I go through and I clean my awl. What I found works best is not the Dawn. I'm going to set that over here. Is I use Clorox wipes, and I use Clorox wipes on most of my other tools. I just go through, make sure you don't poke yourself, and just get all the crumb bums off of there so that it's a much nicer tool to work with. And then I dry them off with my paper towels, of course. Now, a tool like this is very hard to get into these little places to clean. I don't worry about all those because I don't use that part for anything but gripping onto. So there, that is completely clean. And I'll put it back in my tool caddy. And then I clean off anything else that I might use and put it away. Something else I like to do is, this is a time to check your pencils and stuff if you use these with the little lead pencil things in them, is that they have lead in them. And so I do that too. The other thing I do while I've got my Clorox wipes out is I clean my my ruler. You know how I love my ruler. And I go through and I clean all the glue off the sides and just clean it up. because all tools work better when they're clean. And the reason they do is so if you want to run a cutting blade along the side, you don't have a piece of glue sticking out here that makes you go whoomp to get around it. That's why at some point you need to clean your tools. Then I put that back in my tool caddy, and I grab out this, my bone folder. Of course, I love my bone folder. And clean off all the glue and stuff off of that. You can feel the glue and stuff on them. So you might have to take your fingernail and scrape it, or take your little fingernail brush and brush it off. Don't stab yourself. I'm good at stabbing myself with stuff. It just happens. I don't know why. And dry those off. And voila, a nice clean tool to work with. That way when you're going through and using your scoring board, if you have a piece of glue on there, it causes a little crooked rift in your scoring, then it's clean. Besides, it feels great to work with clean tools. I can feel something still on there. Glue. Of course it's glue. So there's that one. Now, while you have your cleaner out, you can look at your bottles and see if you want to clean them up. Now mine have been used for many, many years. I just keep refilling the bottle. So, it's not necessary. But if you want it to look a little better, just wipe it down really quick. And, it won't look brand new. It'll look like a used bottle of glue. But it just makes things, I don't know, a little more tidy for a while. 5 minutes or so. And if you have a problem getting your tips to stay on, first of all, check to be sure you don't have a bunch of glue out here. If you do, just clean it all off. And you can see that I did because it's hanging out around the tip here. So I'm just going to peel that off. And I'm just going to stick it back in. And then going to take a handy dandy tool, and I'm just going to grab this and give it a little twist on there. And that should take care of that. Now if your tip keeps clogging up, one thing you can do is to go ahead and take your cap off and clean out this section. I clean it out the same way I do my tips here, but I don't soak them for days. I put a little Dawn in there, I use my little brush and clean it out, and then I rinse it really well and put it back on, and it works great. The glue really sticks to the inside of this really bad. It clumps up and causes lumps. So then the next thing is cleaning these. Oh boy. These open up. I don't know if you know that. These are the We Are Memory Keepers Crocodile Chompers. And I have two brands. I have the scallop and stub one, and I have the 1/4 and 1/2 inch. But it's important to get in here and get all of that stuff out of there. That's just one sitting. But you can look down in there and you can see if there's paper clogging it up. So then what I do is I take my, what do I do with it? Oh, here it is. I take this and I clean off in here. And I make sure there's no glue stuck to the inside. Close that and then come over and do the other one. I can see a little bit of glue in there. So then I bring out Mr. All again and I just wipe it off. Then I dry them. Make sure the handles are all cleaned up. And it's good to go again. Yep, I can hear it already. It works a lot better. And I do the same way with the other one. And then I also check these when I'm doing a thorough cleaning. I make sure I don't have glue stuck in these holes because I hole punch before things are dry. So it's always good just to check, and you'd clean it the same way. Get your awl and carefully go around inside of there. And then just, you know, wipe things down and make sure everything's working good and dry it all off. So, I don't know if, you know, this is a lock on this. I guess you can somehow lock it, but I never lock mine. So, I don't know. No, there, see? Now it's locked into place. Huh. Discover something new every day about these tools. I also don't know if you know it, but these pop this way so that you can turn these better. And you can change them this way too. See that? It pops right open. Now you want to make sure that that is closed when you're using the tool. Okay, so just another good thing. Keep your tools fairly clean. You know, you don't have to do them every time you craft. Another thing I like to do is I check this one too to be sure it's okay. Just clean it off, and you know, I've already done all this in the previous video. So, and then the other thing is to check your board for any glue marks along the edges. And if your blade's been giving you a problem on your on this one, then it's a good time to change it or check it and make sure there's not glue kind of around the tip there somewhere, and get all the glue out from under here, and just, you know, clean it up. Clean the rail out here on this one, because if the rail is not clean, if there's glue in it, and I can feel there is glue in mine, but I'm using this one right now, so I'm not concerned about that one. Because I'm mad at it right now, because I have to keep changing the blades. The other thing I do is clean off my We Are Memory Keepers one, my tearing ruler. And it just makes it tear better, because I get glue along the edges, and I make a real mess out of my tools before I clean them. And then the last thing I do is I clean my scissors. It can take a while to clean them, but once again, well, no, it's not the last thing. I haven't got to the last thing yet. Our scissors are really important. We use them all the time, and our hands can get pretty weary and tired, especially if our tools aren't working sufficiently. So I do clean off my scissors, and I dry them, and I get up here and I make sure I clean inside the handles. Now I'm not going to do all that today on camera because it just takes too long. But you get in there and get all the icky glue lumps out, so it's more comfortable for your hands to use the scissors. And make sure that you clean them up in here on both sides. And I go through and I clean all my scissors. I haven't been able to get this glue spot off here. Oh, there it comes. See, makes a liar out of you. So I clean all those, and I clean up my little ones. I just use these, so they're kind of gluey. And I don't know why I get my tools gluey. I just do. Now these scissors I've had for, I don't know, gosh, 20 years probably. I love these scissors, and they work obviously forever. But maybe that's because I keep them clean, you know, I don't know. I don't always clean the outside of this one, but anyway, love my little scissors. Those are perfect for fussy cutting. So the one thing I want to talk to you about is mats. Now, you know I've changed my mat a lot, and I love my glass mat, but it is so noisy for videoing. But the glass mat is ultimately the best because it cleans. But you can't cut on it. So the other thing I do on this is I use the same wipes and stuff. I use the Clorox wipes on it and get most of the stuff off. But if your mat is like mine and you use it as it's intended, I don't use it just to make my desk pretty. I use it to work on it. And you can see that I slice through it, and I use my cutting blade on it. It's not just a rotary blade. I use my razor blade knife on it, and it actually does ruin the mat. I believe what happens is that it cuts into the mat, and then when you use wet things on it, it starts crackling, and it gets old before its time, and these self-healing mats stop healing. So this one has stopped healing. So it's time to replace it. But I just, you know, I want you to know that mine get really dirty because they're not just a pretty face down here. I actually use this for cutting on and everything else. I'm a firm believer in using the tools what they're intended for, and sometimes what they're not intended for, because this is actually for quilting, and I use it for hardcore artwork down here, and you can see the slices all over in it. So once they're all sliced up, they do stop healing, which means that they're actually cut, and some of them may be cut all the way through. But I'll use this one until I get a new one. I do have an extra smaller one that I sometimes flop up here if I need to have a really smooth surface. So anyway, I think that's about it. Don't forget to clean off your other glue too. And another tip is that you can buy, I know it's easy to lose these needles, but you can buy these on Amazon. Buy the little carton here, and I just buy the size 24 1.5 inch stainless steel. You have to buy the stainless steel. Now I mark on mine stainless steel. If anybody gets into these, I'm as protective of those as I am my scissors. So don't break into my house and take my stainless steel needles, because that'll be it. Just like a scissor. Anyway, I buy them by the case like this. And I usually buy 2 at a time. I don't lose that many, but you know what happens is after a while they start getting crooked because we're shoving them in there with that glue that has dried, or we're not getting it straight down in the cavity there, so they go crooked. So anyway, that's all I have today. I just wanted to go over that with you and tell you that I was thinking of you guys and wanted to just share some of those little tips with you. So I will see you next time on Dogwood Paper Arts. Cheers. Bye.